Well, I wanted to talk to you about last game, and I mean, it was a big step forward for you as a player. Obviously, Coach Newberry sent a message that this is a week-to-week deal. I did a feature on Tom Atuatelli last week because he'd been playing well and had earned the starting job as a freshman, which is rare. But then Saturday comes along and you're the starter. Can you just talk about that and the competition that breeds every day, every week, every day?
I love that competition. I think it makes the LBs, what we call ourselves, and the whole team better, just in a regard that competition brings out the best in everybody if you're a competitor. You know what I mean? But also, it's a highlight on our team's selflessness. I think our leadership, not just the captains and not just the coaches, it's our seniors and our juniors and even all the way down, just people being selfless and bought in to what the coaches want to accomplish and what the team, what the captains kind of set out. And we're like, hey, we're going to do this, and this is how it's got to be done. If we can't do this, then we won't be successful. And that's kind of I'm really proud of the way the guys, respond to that weekly.
So obviously, I mean, first career start, if I'm correct, is that correct? Against the Surface Academy rival, big game, and you show up. How good does it make you feel? You worked your whole career for this.
Oh, I mean, I'm just thankful to the people who showed love to me and who just invested in me in times of strife and in times of successes. I'm thankful to God. More importantly, I want to bring glory to Him for that, right? Because there's a lot of things that could have brought me out of this place, discouragements and lack thereof of something that maybe I didn't get, or I was feeling self pity for not getting playing time or anything like that. Could have moved on, but something my dad taught me, and I believe what my God teaches me, is just endurance. So.
So do you think that game suited you? I mean, that's a rock'em sock'em game. They're going to try to run the ball, and I feel like that suited you well, and your knowledge of the option. I think those are some of the reasons that went into Coach putting you out there.
Yeah, I actually give credit to Coach Jasper and the offensive coordinators and the coaches,
You having to learn
because I learned through being on scout team and kind of being a little upset for being on scout team, but then I refocused and was like, hey, I'm going to have to play this another time. Also, I'm going to I can just make the most of it and make somebody better today. And that was harder said than done. But I do believe those 2 years, 3 years of just going against it all the time, taking off the offensive coaches every once in a while, have made me better in that regard. But then there's no lack of credit that belongs to our coaches for preparing us. I mean, I think it's a great correlation coming from Kennesaw State that they were able to have a good idea of what to expect and how to call things and what to look for in our keys. And so I've never been more prepared for a game like that. So that was awesome. It was fun. That's what it was. It was just we were able to go out and have fun and not really worry about too much.
So you're brought to the post-game press conference. You're here doing an interview with me this week, and there's been a lot of this since then from your fellow midshipmen. How do you stay focused and know what got me that starting job last Saturday? I got to keep that up.
Right. I believe that it's a 15-minute thing, in my opinion. And this one was hard because it was such a close game and a really tight win. And I was so proud of my guys. But then you have to refocus and bring it back in and humble yourself, right? And look at the next team. My coach in high school was always be like, 15 minutes to celebrate, 15 minutes to be sad about either a win or a loss. And then you move on, right? You got the next game coming. And so yesterday, I don't think I did a very good job of that. Just getting back into the spread offense, pro offense kind of mindset for coming from Air Force. And then today, I felt like our D was just like clicking a little bit better on some of those keys and those formations that we had to make checks to or things like that. So I'm excited, but definitely to answer your question, got to humble yourself because we got to continue to rise, right? We can't just be like, oh, we beat Air Force. No, we got Tulsa, we got SMU, we got people who are 6-0, we got people like AAC is a competitive conference, and we love it, and we love the challenge. So that's the challenge, is being humble, recovering, and then being prepared for the next game. So those are a couple, the 3 challenges that I see All right.
Last but not least, I was going to talk to Coach Newberry about this, but there's a new tradition. There's a chain out there on the sideline,
Yeah.
and I saw it go around Jackson Pittman's neck, even though it turned out later he didn't actually have the recovery. But what do you all think of that?
I think it's something that's going around college football now, having like an item that's cool for a team member to hold or something, that because we're proud of him. You know, we're proud that he did his job, and not only that, he exceeded his job. So I think it's cool. I think it's a cool little thing that, you know, we made it our own. It's a lock and chain, and you know, Miami has their blinged out necklace. I think that's pretty cool. So it's something fun to add to the game, and I love it. I love it. You know, I like how the guys respond to it. So it's cool.
All right. Following up on Air Force, you know, for your first Service Academy game, and it's a big game. And what did you think of the whole experience?
No, that was awesome. You know, I always enjoyed watching those on TV, and I always wanted to be a part of one. And
Sold out stadium.
Yeah,
Atmosphere electric, huh?
Exceeded all my expectations, so pretty awesome.
So in terms of game planning for Air Force and their option, or I mean, what was your take coming out of it? Do you feel like Navy did the job that you expected?
Yeah, I do. I thought our kids played really well, especially if you look at the first, 3.5 quarters. I thought we played really, really well on defense. Kids played really, really hard, executed our game plan. Got a little bit sloppy late. Thought we got tired a little bit. We got to do a better job of subbing guys early on in the game, so they're fresh in the fourth quarter. And a couple of those calls toward the end are on me a little bit too. So, but really pleased, man. I kept fighting. Got ourselves out of some bad situations and played exceptionally hard. So, what a great team win that was.
So do you tell a guy like Jackson Pittman you are not a running back? How do you tell him? Because, he scooped it up and he was looking like a fullback, but he didn't have it high and tight like a fullback.
No doubt. And that's on us. We got to work some ball security drills with those guys. So
right.
We'll work on that next time.
Right. I think you passed the get 6, right?
We did. Yeah, we got 7.
Right.
Yeah. So I figured going in that game with limited amount of possessions, get 5 would have probably done it for us. But we got 7, and 3 takeaways at the end of the day, and then a couple 3 and outs and 4th down stops. So good showing in that department.
So I did a feature on Tama Tuatele last week, and it turns out he doesn't start. Paul Carruthers does. So what went into that decision? I'm thinking senior, a lot of experience against the option. It just seemed like a Paul Carruthers type of game.
It is. It's a tough, physical, in between the tackles type football game, and he's suited to play that kind of game. Had a tremendous week of practice, and went out and really had a tremendous game. Really proud of the way he played.
What did you? I mean, he and Diego with career highs for tackles. Your 2 inside backers. What's that? 26 tackles between them.
That's right.
That's pretty nice. What did they do well? The 2 of them.
Well, they played the defense. They fit things correctly. They scraped when they needed to scrape. They filled when they needed to fill, and made the plays that came to them.
Mm-hmm. What in terms of Tulsa? Let's talk about them a little bit. What are you seeing? I know they got a quarterback who looks like he's been doing a good job. They've always had. I mean, this team. I went and added it up. The Navy and Tulsa have averaged 66 points between them for 4 games. So this is always a high-scoring game. You don't want it to be, at least on one end.
I hope not. I tell you, they're a really good football team. They're the old Art Briles, spread you out, but run the football, be balanced. They've got really good players. The quarterback's a good player. They're good up front. Got 2 good running backs. Our receivers are good players, so it's going to be a real challenge. I think offensively, they may be the best team we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, they put up a lot of points on SMU and put up points on a lot of people. And as I said, in the past, they've always put up points on Navy.
Yeah, no question. And we're going to play really, really well. We're going to have to play well up front, keep everything in front of us, right, and not give up the kind of explosive plays we've given up the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever run across Phil Montgomery? I mean, with your Baylor connections and whatnot, he was an assistant at Baylor, wasn't he?
Correct, yeah.
Right,
Chris Nord and him worked together. So I'm very familiar with the Art Briles system, being a Baylor fan and everything. So, and they run that offense really, really well there. He does a great job with the offense.
Last but not least, the chain. That's a new thing. I don't know when that was introduced. Can you explain to us what it is, what it's for? I saw him put around Jackson Pittman's neck, but they probably had to take it back off after they found out that he actually fumbled. What is it for?
Well, the players came up with it. I think Coach Volker actually did something in his meeting room. We played in East Carolina, and it was basically a prop to say that we were going to lock East Carolina in our building and have our way with them. And so they kind of took a life of its own. Kids took it over, and so it's kind of gone from there.
And what do they put it around a guy's neck for doing?
Yeah, for getting a takeaway, being a part of a 3 and out, anything that involves that get 6, if they're responsible for it, and I guess they get to wear the chain on the sideline.
You had a big game. It's been, coaches, Yukatis has said you're capable of this type of stuff. Big 3 catches, 90 yards. How do you keep it up?
I mean, I think you just come to practice every day and keep it the same. Don't do less because you did good, or do more always. But I feel like I always try to push myself. But I'm gonna just keep it the same. Grind hard in practice. That's what the receivers do. So that's what we continue to do.
We talked about Navy likes to have a go-to receiver that they can count on, and it's starting to look like you're emerging. Is this something you always felt you were capable of, Michael?
I mean, yes. I mean, I think we all come to play like D1 football to shine and show what we can do. But like I said previously, everybody in our receiving core can make big plays. Mitch can make big plays. Chance can make big plays. I can make big plays. So it's just if we all come and practice the way we practice, and everybody can make the same plays I made on Saturday.
On a couple of those downfield catches where you're thinking, I got to score, I'm getting in the end zone. I mean, is that the next step, huh?
I mean, that's always what you're thinking. I just got to work on finishing. But the fact that we were able to score in those drives makes it all the better. If we didn't score, then I'd have a big cloud over my head all week.
Right.
But for me, it's
You
like,
set it up, yeah.
for me, if we can score and we continue to win, I don't mind not scoring.